Well, hello everyone. Good to see you. Tonight I'm Jennifer Johnson. You're here at TTR Presents, and it's Sue Biddle, and because I asked. So that you're going to find out a lot more about that as we go. If you cannot tell, I have a hoarse voice. I am, though, very fortunate. I'm Jennifer Johnson. I am very fortunate to be able to introduce our guest, Sue Biddle, who happens to be my mother. Yes, we do look a little bit alike, a little bit alike. Besides being my mom, though, she is an author, very talented author. She is, oh, mom, you've got all kinds of things. You were a teacher, oh my gosh, all kinds of things. So my voice is getting hoarser as I'm speaking, but I am so excited that Nicole Williams, who is my executive assistant with TTR Networking and good friend, is actually going to take on the emceeing for tonight. But one of the reasons we really wanted to do this was we're about to start February follow-up. And February follow-up is we had a month. January is all about meeting new people in TTR. And TTR is To the Rescue Networking. It's all about meeting new people, new experiences, new year, all that stuff. And so with that, you meet new people, you got to follow up. And a lot of our members, our business owners who are trying to figure out how do I follow up and questions, being curious has to be genuine. And if I've ever met somebody who's curious, it's my mother. So we're going to turn it over. I'm going to truly mute myself and let Nicole take on the emceeing and interviewing. So Nicole Williams, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, and all our friends and potential friends who are going to be watching, because we're going to attach this replay on social media and in emails. But we're so glad that you guys are here with us, and I am so honored to get to share and asking questions, kind of learning more about Sue Biddle, Jennifer's mama. And just so you know, on her, which to make sure who she is, her name is Wes. That's your husband. But it's funny. I tease her sometimes and I'm like, hi, Wes.
He's my technical advisor, and he sets this up for me. So yes.
I love it. He's a great technical advisor. Great technical. Well, how are you doing tonight? How are you tonight, Sue?
Me, I'm fine. I've thought about this a lot today, and what we talked about the other night, and I think I'm prepared to answer whatever questions you may have, or the things we talked about. And yes, I started by telling you and Jenny about my Schaefer snorkel pen. So
Oh
I
my
don't know if
gosh,
it'll come up.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, if you can hold that up too and show us what on earth is that. But that is so cool. So she is a very talented, gifted writer. It's so cool. And it's just a few decades old. It's
Well,
just a few.
no. So I got it in 1957. Yes.
1957. And that
Long
takes
time
you
ago.
back to, I think, a real major event in your life. I think that's really influenced your writing that you do. And I'm going to put it in quote writing, because you have done so many beautiful stories where, it's like a moment in time, something happens, right? And you're just inquisitive, you're curious, you ask a question, and then later on you just kind of just write about it, and you've told us you have all these stories saved, and then but okay, not to skip ahead, but I'm just so excited. I don't know if y'all can tell. But something about that snorkel pen. That snorkel pen was a writing contest, I think you were
in Junior Scholastic magazine, and some people who are my age might have gotten that in their school, in their 5th or 6th grade. And they had a writing contest, and my English teacher that year encouraged me to enter. I'll be totally honest, I have no idea what the subject was or what I wrote about. All I know is that I entered, and then I spent a lot of time. Actually, this is another thing. This is a diary from 1957 also. And I kept track of whether I was supposed to hear if I had been a winner. And so, every couple of days I would say, I haven't heard anything yet, but who knows, it may be a good answer. And it turned out I did win. Again, I don't know what it was supposed to be, whether Junior Scholastic gave us a topic,
Yeah.
or whether it was just kind of to choose your own. And but I won. But I won I won an honorable mention. I had hoped for the big whatever the gold coin. No, it wasn't gold something. But I didn't win the big prize. But I said, I think I said in there, which isn't bad,
Yeah.
And I got my pen. And it just shows what somebody who keeps a lot of things can show you at some point.
But things that mean, things that are close to your heart, things that,
Yes.
I just love that. I love how you held on to that. I love how it was an English teacher that tapped you on the shoulder, because I think that affected your life, because down the road, didn't you become an English teacher? Wasn't that one of your
Oh, yes. She
many hats?
she was a very good English teacher. But I think she also was very good at understanding where children were coming from. I'm not sure that I, as a teacher, was as good at it as she, but she did encourage me, and so I have this pen, and I
I love it.
probably, now that I have refound it, will probably in the next month put down something to find a way to start and use it and write something about it.
Because it's a unique pen. Because you showed us before our event,
Yes.
and so you have to like put it in ink and like suck up the
You
ink.
have to open it up.
Yes.
And Wes did show it to me. Let's see. Yes, there it is. And can you see it? Yes, you can.
Oh,
And
so it's like a calligraphy,
this thing goes out. Yeah. And then you would put it in the ink bottle.
Yes.
And suck it up there.
Yes.
And use it.
That is
I don't think I ever did, but
fun.
I think it's neat, and I'm going to probably, that's one of the things that when I'm gone, we're going to have to figure out who gets the Schaefer snorkel pen.
There's going to be a fight.
Who do I have up there?
Jennifer's raising her hand.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jenny.
but you got
Jennifer was first.
Javi 3 saying she had multiple Schaefer pens, I guess, at some point. So that's what she just commented. Yes, cool. You had
Who
what?
had them?
I did.
Oh, you had a bunch of them too?
Yeah, it's very popular in Asia and Europe. So growing up in school, that's all we had as far as pens to write.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, what you just did is you gave me something to add when I write this story, which I'm sure I will. That it's really prolific in Europe.
Very popular in Europe and also in Asia.
Interesting.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if it is still, but growing up it was.
Yeah.
Very cool, Pavi 3. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
That is so cool. Okay. Well, yay. Okay, so that's kind of like a little bit apart about your but you have like a journey. You have a journey like with topics, with your stories that you and there's a way that you come up with ideas, and it kind of goes back to, there are many ways, but one of the things that fascinated Jennifer and I is your why is that, and your curiosity is asking questions where you don't intentionally go in somewhere and be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead over here and ask this person a question, go into somewhere where, but they just unfold. It's like that natural, fearless.
Yes, exactly.
Curiosity.
Exactly. Yeah. Most of them have been somebody I see across the room. And for example, a real quick one was that we were at a restaurant, and this younger than us, a couple were over there, and she was going to get the people at the restaurant to sing happy birthday to her fiance. And I heard that and I said, well, could we sing too? and so we got involved, and she didn't do it. He was uh, he was thought that was he was
like,
scared that
no.
we might sing it. Yes.
Oh.
He was the shy fellow. But afterwards I talked to her about how they'd gotten to know each other, and had met online, and they were going out to go to various restaurants and have coffee once a week. And so that was their story. Now I got their names and so forth, and I have sent a letter to them. I have discovered that people don't always answer when I send a letter.
Yes.
But
it's not you, it's just life. It's
just life. Yes.
Yes.
It still is my same story, because I liked the fact that he, we found out that he played on an old-fashioned baseball team. They're in the Ohio area, where people go out and play baseball as they would have done it 100 years ago. And so I thought that was interesting. So that would be in my story. So I didn't mean to go on so long.
No, not at all. I love it because it like leads you to different places. It's not like a yes or no, right? A lot of times some people might be quick, but it was more like they went, you just go in different directions, with that. And
well, in that pair, she was definitely the outgoing one, because she was going to get the people in the place to sing, and he was kind of shy. But so I should get back to. I'll probably get back, because I do take notes on everything that I get like this.
Yeah, and we love it. And so just kind of we're gonna do a little sneak peek. Is that we're so excited. Everyone is here. You had a particular question that someone had asked you, and a little young boy named Jack, and it's so cool. And I'm going to let you tell us just a little bit about a little bit of a teaser, because it is going to be the premiere on Saturday, February 1st, of your blog on TTR Networking's website. So we are so excited.
So you want me just to give a little bit of it?
Just a little bit, because just like because I love for everyone to hear like the different types of questions, the different, so there was one, at a restaurant, right? People you don't know. And so this one gets a little more kind of personal, right?
Yes, it does.
It was one of your students.
Yes, it was from a student of mine. I taught 8th grade English, and he came up to me and said, my name was Saunders then. He said, Mrs. Saunders, did you go to Woodstock? That was the question, which caught me off guard, because I had no idea that he was going to be asking that question. And later, if you want me to, I'll tell you more, but that would be the start of it. And his was the question, actually.
It's neat. It's the path that you went on. So we're just going to kind of throw that teaser out there a little bit. Jennifer, I don't know if you want a little bit more of that. Is that like a good kind of little teaser?
Well, the story is going to be on Saturday, like Nicole said.
Yes.
I guess what I would just say is that my mom has always been very curious. I know, Nicole, you're doing a great job. She was a teacher. She was our mom first. She was a teacher. What did you do after that, Mom? After you retired?
Oh, I took care of the 4 of you. But the first thing I did writing-wise?
Well, after you were a teacher, you retired from teaching. Just what did you do you went to the labor?
Oh, I went to college. I hadn't gone to college before, and I through my husband encouraged me to do it, and my parents and my grandparents and people wanted me to go to college, and so I did, and started out by going to UT and taking a creative writing story class,
Yes.
but I ended up at Bowling Green in the teaching component. That was my husband's requirement, that he would send me to college, but I had to have something that I could use it. And I guess he thought that becoming a teacher would be useful.
And
So-
you did use it. You did
Oh,
use
yes,
it. You
I
taught for
taught.
16 years, you said, right?
14.
14 years. And
Mhm.
after you retired from that, you then became what do they call them? A labor
Relations consultant. You
For the
work for the
schools.
teachers union. Yeah.
for the teachers
Yeah.
union. And then you even went to law school for a short time as part of that, right? Thought you
Oh.
might go into law.
Mhm.
And I guess, Nicole,
Yes.
Nicole came up with the title of Because I Asked. We discovered as we're talking about Mom's life, and she's never been not asking questions or being curious, and growing, and education has been part of her world. She's never been afraid to go and move forward, even when she had some things that were kind of in the way of it, could have turned a lot of people totally against learning anything else. I'm just going to sit here and be in my little cocoon or something. I don't know. She went out and she continued to do more and more and more. And all the time you did it, you were writing stories. You were, and I may have encouraged you the last few years to write more, but you've now, and I guess what I would say to the people who are watching or listening, we kind of focus on what are those questions. Mom doesn't sit there and say, what am I going to ask him next? She just does it. It's a curiosity thing. It's something you need to, and I think you can nurture it. I would just say really quick, when we were talking about this, and we talked in the pre-talking, whatever, Mom and Nicole and I, that I went out, if you go out and put questions, asking good questions in a Google search, you're going to find there's almost every thought leader that's out there has got some suggestion of the best questions or the best curiosity, tips and stuff. The Mom just does it normally. But I don't think it's that you can't learn to do it. I think you have to be aware. And all of you that are on here, that are in our networking for sure, and even if you're just listening, it is hard not to listen to reply instead of listen to learn. You know what I mean? We all know that, right? So, Mom, some of your stories that you've shared, well, tell us a couple of the stories, because you even, there's a couple that we know we're going to put on the website right away.
Yes.
They're going to come out once a month.
What about the one at the restaurant where you were
Yes.
at the restaurant waiting for a table and there was another couple and
Oh, yes. Just
yes,
it's one of the most recent ones, right?
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We went to a restaurant, for example, and we were surprised to see that the restaurant had kiosks where you had to put in your food order. And so we did. And the couple that was next to us were also doing that. They were putting it in. And the young fellow, my young fellow, Wes, came up and he said, in the 60s, all you had to do was ask, say, this is what I want. Not put it through in the kiosk and try to do all your computer things. And this young fellow said to me, or said out loud, he said, I've always thought that there are two times I'd like to be born, and one was in the 1940s, and the other was in the start of the Industrial Revolution. And I stood there as we were getting our things, and I thought about that, and I said, well, and he had given a date for the Industrial Revolution, actually, which I didn't know. And I said, why that particular one? And he said, well, it's because things were changing. It's no longer a rural society. And he said, I think that would be neat. He said, I thought that was really neat. And I said, that's very cool. And so that was about it. We all ate, not together, at adjoining tables. And I said, I said to the guy, I said, you sound very interested in historical things. Have you seen the new Tom Hanks movie, which is called Here? And he said, no, I have not. And I said, well, it's a very good movie. Starts with some Indians in a plot of land and goes through the time the house is there and through history for Tom Hanks, who plays many parts. And he said he started to look it up on his phone. He couldn't find it, but he said he was going to look at it. And I hope he did. He's one of the people, I do try to take people's names and information if I think I might get back to them. And I didn't get it from him, and I hope he does, because it would be a good movie for someone who is as intellectually curious as that. So
I've got
but
it down on my
is
list.
that the one
I'm
you
gonna
wanted?
look for it. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
I love that. And who knows, he could have watched that movie and it could have changed his life, or just
Yeah.
opening, and you don't know. It kind of like snowballs, right?
Yeah.
But but it's neat that you're gonna write that down. I don't think you've written it down yet, but that
No,
could be
I
one of the
haven't.
ones
I've
that we
started
post.
with it, and yeah, I don't wait too long, because then some of the
You want it
details,
fresh.
I lose some of the details. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I
As we
don't,
all.
Exactly.
I know you
Yeah.
haven't written the other one, Mom, but this one I was thinking of Dawn when you were talking about the one, if you don't mind talking briefly about the one with the furniture. And
Oh, yeah.
If Dawn's
Yes.
listening, hopefully she knows what I'm talking about once she
Yeah.
shares this.
Yeah, I don't know what got me well, I do know. My husband and I have moved recently, and I don't think I could get the terror or whatever of moving in the things that are the length I do. But there was something. I was sitting in our house and had put a desk, a long narrow desk that I have had for some time, and it was against the wall. And I had taken some pictures that we had in the other house and put them above there, who happened to be of the grandchildren, not the great grandchildren, the grandchildren. And I have them on the wall. And I just started looking at this piece of furniture. And I knew that my grandfather had a lumber yard in Chicago, and he had built this very long, narrow desk for his wife, and she had it, and then her daughter had it, and then I have it, and I started asking around a little bit. My younger sister, I asked her about it, and she told me that her mother had put it at the back of couches, and so that you could sit at the couch and talk to the person at the desk, and you could talk to that person.
Right. You're like right there.
Right. And so I decided it was something I did want to think about, and I started thinking about different pieces of furniture that I have, that sometimes seem like, what are we going to do with them? But on the other hand, what is the story about that particular piece of furniture? And sometimes you have to look around a bit, because I wouldn't. My mother's gone. Her mother and her father were all gone. Grandfather-in-law would have been. But it's a neat desk, and I've thought about it as I've put new things in, and so it's definitely going to be a story. It just isn't one yet, but it would be how I think. Oh, thought that if people might ask somebody, what piece does it, are there pieces of furniture that say something about you?
Yeah.
You know, is that as much your heredity as your biological, you know, taking a blood test?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. And I do think it's interesting. And um, I think that my children all have some of the pieces of furniture. Um,
I love it. And you had mentioned too, that was really cool, Dawn, is it's a different form of finding your genealogy, you know, because Dawn has a beautiful nonprofit with her husband,
mhm.
Claim Your Roots. And so she teaches, you know, and Dawn, is that part of yours, or do you kind of focus on pictures, you know,
Mhm.
because I remember you taught like a really great class. But you know, if it, I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah.
um,
Well,
That's
but
an
yeah,
interesting, that is an interesting premise, that, wouldn't that be interesting if people then put down, um, yes, I have some pieces of furniture in my house which connect me to my, my grandmother,
right.
right.
and I hadn't thought about it before.
That's
That
what,
might be a way of doing something, yeah.
well, when we were talking about it originally, Mom, when you were just putting it out there, I was like, Dawn. I'm sure
Oh,
Dawn
yeah.
can figure out how this can connect to the whole genealogy. I guess what one thing that I really think, and my daughters, my son might laugh at me because I sound like my mom, but I honestly believe, no, I believe truly that the older you get, and a lot of us on here would understand this, that it's even more and more important to ask those questions. Don't waste the time, right? I mean, aren't we all, how many times today did I hear people saying the greatest lesson they learned is to live everything, you know, do everything you can. Isn't that what we said today, Pavi 3? I don't remember what was in that, wasn't that one of the main?
Yeah, I think it was something to the effect of like, you can't buy time, so don't waste it, right?
Right.
Take
Right.
every opportunity to make it work. I mean, the whole furniture thing is just like, I don't know if you guys can see me sitting here nodding my head like an idiot.
Yes, we
Um,
can. Just
you know,
kidding. I'm doing the same thing.
yeah, especially as an immigrant, like it has a lot to do with my heritage and where I come from. And I have pieces of furniture here that I had sent from back home, and one of the sets belonged to my dad's great grandmother.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you may have that. May I say something to you? Because
absolutely.
when you talked to me about my Schaefer snorkel pen, you told me something that I didn't know about Schaefer snorkel pens. And
Also, we can walk if you guys want or whatever.
and I think it's really cool because I would add that in, and it probably would go somewhere to find out why they were more prolific. And well, maybe they weren't. Maybe lots of people had Schaefer snorkel pens.
But
It,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Pavi 3. Sorry,
yeah, I
I
was
didn't
gonna
mean.
say they're actually called fountain pens back home.
Mhm.
And it is, from my understanding, it's because the replacing ink
Mhm.
is, the bottles are a lot cheaper than the cartridges and the pens that you would just throw out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it
Yeah.
was an economical factor there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Very,
That I do, and I try to listen. And I don't have a piece of paper in front of me, but I'll remember these things because I'll be
well,
able to hit it
Jennifer
right.
knows how to find me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and
okay.
I was gonna say, and we have Catherine the squirrel with the curl has jumped on, but I want people to know, and we've got a few others. Thank you for all jumping on. I want people to know though, Sue Biddle's blog is going to start on Monday. No, it isn't. Saturday. Don't listen to me. It's on Saturday. It's because I asked. The first blog is called, what is it? Nicole, what is it called?
Oh, what,
Woodstock.
we should know
Oh,
this.
Woodstock
I'm thinking of
Revisit.
the thing tonight.
It's
Yes,
called
Woodstock.
Woodstock Revisited, sort of.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's so
We
good.
can't
Yes.
give them any more hints than that. They have to read it. They have to
Yeah.
read it. But the reason I bring it up, and Squirrel with the Curl, I want you to know real quick while we're saying this, that you can actually interact with us on there. So if you have a question or you have a comment, Mom's story about the furniture is one of her many really cool stories that I don't think she's actually written that one yet, but we have so many that are going to come
No,
out. Yeah.
I have been, how long has it been? A month or two or something? And moving is just taking up everything. But I have worked on getting my stories straight in my mind and looked through and filed them better. So I am ready.
She's
and I bought myself a word processor and not a typewriter.
Ooh,
Yes.
yes.
Well,
Oh.
I've got, well, it's better than trying to share a computer with somebody else. And I'm working on that sort of.
That's
So-
awesome. Oh my gosh.
And
Real
I guess the
positive.
reason I say that, Catherine Barhouse Bjork, we released one of her blogs this morning. And I don't know if you even knew that, but we had a couple people that replied to me through email. And one lady is passing along your story to some other people that she really, and it was a great story. But you have to go on our website and read it. I'm not going to tell you. It's Catherine Barhouse Bjork, the crazy red-haired lady who happens to be on the call right now with us. But one thing we laugh about it, and I can see my children and my husband, but grandma or mom, you will get in a line at the grocery store and you'll know somebody's whole story before you're through the line, right? I mean,
Well, I don't think I think that was my sense with my mother first, that she did it. Yes, I have. I think that maybe the lines are not as long. Are I'm trying to think. You do a lot of it on your own. That's the difference between having a checkout person, right?
Oh,
right.
the selfie. I can't really talk to myself.
Yeah.
Unless you're angry and it's not working.
What you have to be doing is listening as a sideline to somebody else, and you might talk to somebody else. But yeah,
Right.
I would say that's the reason why I don't do it. My mother did. I
Okay.
know my mother could. Everybody, she just talked to everybody.
So, Mom, I
And-
say this with a complete loving comment. You do it, I do it. Our
Oh.
daughters, my daughters, your grandchildren, they all will do it. They don't know they're going to do it,
Oh, they'll
but
do
they're
it.
going to do it. They're going to do it.
Looking
And
at
as
you,
they get
Elizabeth.
older, they understand they have to do it. They don't know that right now. But I will say, there was something you just said. Oh, because one of our conversations, guys, ladies, gentlemen who are on here, is that what Mom does naturally might be almost construed as nosy, right?
Uh-huh.
We talked about that. But Mom, you don't do it that way. And I think in our networking world, you can do that without being nosy too. You can be just interested, right?
Yes,
Yes.
not interesting, interested. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And you do it with grace, you do it with kindness, right?
Oh,
You
sure.
truly care. You truly want to know. And, so kind of goes to the follow-up, where
Mhm.
sometimes, we might get stuck, we meet somebody, we want to connect with them. I don't know, maybe it's just talking about myself, but I might sit there a few minutes in front of the computer and I'm like, what am I going to say? But, it just, I ask more questions,
Yeah.
if I have, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, I mean, I don't think, well, I don't know. I don't think I've had other people leave because I've asked a question, that they're,
No.
they're,
I can't
I don't think people are
imagine. I can't-
offended. So,
No.
hey, I don't see Sarah anymore, but you guys, Sarah and Jenny could tell me whether, and Rachel's somewhere there too?
Yeah, they're all
Rachel
here.
and
Elizabeth's
John.
on.
Yeah,
John's
you
on
guys
here.
should all know. I don't know
So,
much. Go ahead.
well,
I'm sorry.
no, I didn't do it. I should have, but your father, Grandpa Carr, had his own advertising agency. You grew up in that world. So it was all, now Grandpa advertising was a little different than writing stories. Now Grandpa wrote, but he didn't write stories the way you do, right? Is that kind of different? And Mom, is that
Yeah,
what you're?
yes. I'm sorry, I was seeing Sarah down there and I was
I know,
waving at
you're
her.
waving at all your fans.
Yeah. Let's see, Grandpa Carr, yeah, he was more marketing than he was advertising. I think he would actually have a real hard time with the kind of things that are prolific or pronounced or whatever in advertising these days. But he had he did a lot of writing for the church where he went, and it was called Through the Car Window, which was a good name because his name
So
was Carr.
cool.
But it was
And,
that's right.
CARR. So they
Yes.
yes, it was a real good play on the, yeah.
And so he had I don't think I have morals in my story, but I probably do. I
Well,
probably do have
the
some.
common element is curiosity.
Yes,
And
definitely.
you'll, by the end of the time you read a story, you'll realize somebody was curious. Most of the time it's probably Mom, but it's
Mhm.
somebody's curiosity opened a door to something new, and it then created another something. I mean,
Yes.
and I don't want to go too, I will say the first story is called Woodstock Revisited, which is very timely. We just, I won't go more than that, but we just celebrated Mom's, how old are you?
Well, I like to say 75, but it's 79.
Yep.
Yes.
She
I like to say I'm
celebrated.
29.
So we did this last summer, celebrated, and it was the party and everything. She wrote a story about Woodstock Revisited. So I encourage you to read it on Saturday. We're going to, I already know because I'm in charge of picking up. No, I'm not. Mom can choose, but we have a very different piece of her writing that's going to come out around the 1st of March. And it is something she wrote back in 1990, August of 1990, and it's called If I'd Done Things Differently.
Oh, I love
And
that
I'm
one.
not going to share anything more than that.
Can I just jump in and just
yes.
say this writing for that one, the one for August 1990 was the first one that I've shown to me, and it was so neat because it's typed by Sue, and it's like poetic, and it's just like it flows, and I just love it. You know, it's just the
I'd
words.
say it is
and
definitely more, not real heavy poet, but it's definitely one of the more poetic things I've written. Yeah.
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 So we are so lucky. We get it. We got it,
Yes, you have
Jennifer.
it.
We got it. We're gonna get that on there.
And while we've been sitting on this call, squirrel with the curl, Catherine, you got somebody else who said, thank you, Jennifer. They respond to your blog to me. So you are getting people reading your blog. So I'm excited about what Moms is going to be doing. And I just encourage you all. Are there, I guess, Nicole, I know
Yeah, we should open it to questions.
Yeah,
We
anybody's
should,
got
yes.
questions?
Yes.
Mom, are you willing to answer questions?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. I'm just sitting here in my kitchen. When do I get to show my thing in my shoulder?
Oh, why
It's
don't you
already
show
there.
them? I think Elizabeth has a question if you
Oh.
want to.
Do you have a question, Elizabeth?
I'm just picking on you.
I think Nicole's picking on me.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Grandma. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for the nice note.
Oh, no
You
problem.
got your thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's got questions though? You know, if you know how to use you can put a hand up or something.
Or just go like this.
Or just like, I don't know, you can do whatever you need. Any questions?
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting how she's inspired.
Yeah.
Catherine?
I have a question, Mom.
yes,
Maybe
yeah.
you already said this, but what is the most interesting response you got to just asking somebody a random question?
Good question.
I would say it's one that actually you guys do have. It's Wes and I we went to Bob Evans. We eat out a lot. So we went
Bob
to Bob
Evans is good.
Evans, and we waited in line, as you do sometimes, at this Bob Evans, and a girl was waiting with us, and we just started talking. And she was there with some, I thought maybe she was a teacher. She had some kind of a journal or something she was writing. And she said, no, I'm actually a social worker. And do you want me to tell the whole? I guess I can. Yeah. As a social worker. And she said, the other people in my family were the teachers. So she knew I was a teacher by that point. She said, I don't feel like I have the same kinds of things to give. And so I realized maybe I could talk to her a little bit while we were waiting for our food. And she said, let's see, what was it? I said, my sister was a social worker, my older sister, and she really did a lot in the world. She did a lot of good things. She got awards, but she was just really very, very caring. And I said, I think you're taking yourself not seriously enough, and or something like that. And so that was the way it ended. But when she left me a note, which I kept. And the note basically said, I thanked us for sharing lunch with her. And she said she realized that her gift was to help people that way. And she bought our lunch.
That's right.
And
See how
I
you
kept
work.
I kept the note too.
Oh, good. I was going to ask.
Yes, I do have the note, and it's
Awesome.
yeah. I thought, and here's an interesting thing though. Jenny read it, and I don't know how you came back to me, Jenny, but you said something to the effect that so not so what? It wasn't that at all, but it seemed to be not finished. And so I kind of revised the end, didn't I, Jenny?
Yeah, and that will be one that we'll put out sometime. Yeah,
Well,
we'll
so
get.
I changed it. I didn't change it. I just added. I said, so we had a nice meal, and I'd like to think that maybe she was more aware of her own value by the time we got through. Yeah. And I haven't seen her again, but I could send her a note. I should do more of that, sending notes and finding out how she's
Yes,
doing.
you should do more sending notes. Hey, by the way, I mean, wouldn't it be cool to be able to somewhere down the road, Nicole, Mom, anybody to be able to think that maybe Mom will run into somebody and their whole lives will have been changed. But
Right?
I think what I would, I guess, you don't know what you, and if, I know Pavi 3 said she's, I keep bringing it up, Pavi 3, I'm just going to say it, but she said one day in our meeting, she's going to enjoy the little things, but not lose sight of the big picture. She's got a very big business and she's growing, and we're all trying to grow and we're all trying to do these things. But I think that was it generally. Is she still on? Am I losing?
I'm here.
You're there. I didn't.
Yeah, I see her down there.
Yeah, but I keep saying it wrong, but I think it's the basic thing.
Yes, it's my motto in life is it's the little things in life that makes your world go round so you can keep the important things in line.
Ooh,
That's good.
that's good.
Yeah.
And it's recorded now too, so that's really good. It's really good.
So you're not gonna ask me to repeat it again?
Yeah, she might,
Could you
Monday,
please?
she might ask again. Just be prepared for it, Pavi 3. Then,
Right.
you could have it, written on a Post-it and put it on your forehead until like the first thing we notice is your Post-it,
There's our
Right? These
crazy red
ideas.
lady. Yes. Well, thank you. Anybody else? I mean, I'm sorry, Nicole, I told you
No,
you
no,
were
no,
the
no,
MC
you're
and
fine. But she was going to show us the beautiful flowers behind her.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
If
she
there's something
was.
extra special about those.
Yes, yes. Well, for Christmas, Jenny knew we had moved, and so she was really interested in the colors in my house, in the house. And I sensed that maybe she was thinking about something for Christmas. And I was a little bit afraid because I thought she was maybe going to get a canister set, which would have been fine, but we had already bought a canister set. And so I didn't, I thought, well, you can use a couple canister sets, no big deal. And so, but she kept asking, and she was asking about pictures, and the picture is also up on the wall that you were looking for, Jenny. A lady in a looking, I don't know, kind of a
It's all
what?
right.
No, what did you say? It was like a Campbell's soup can.
Well, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
trying to match the colors.
Yes.
And
Well,
yeah.
So on Christmas, Jenny arrived with this lovely flower thing that is behind me. I can bring it up here. Wait a sec.
And if you all know, Pam Rowley in our network makes those. So I was very
a
excited.
clay deco, an art deco, clay
Yeah,
deco.
never
they're
get old and
gorgeous.
never get dirty and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Look at that. It's so happy. I love it.
So-
Yes. And so last week or the other day when we were talking, it was in the behind me, and I said, I'd like to show her that. Is she here? No, she's not here. But anyhow,
No, she
it's
isn't.
very nice, and it's the right colors, Jenny, and the canister set is fine too. We
Good.
had, which wasn't yellow actually. My canister set is white with a place where you write on it what it is.
Oh, neat. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So we hope, yes, thank you, Mom. I'm glad you liked it. And I'm going to make sure Pam knows that you
Yes.
plugged her on this recording.
Yes.
That's good. She's
If
awesome.
you don't have
I
one,
hope
get
she-
one that's very nice.
Yeah, she does a great job. So we just thank everybody for being on. We're going to, this has been recorded. Obviously, we're going to put this on the website and kind of in front of or put the link out there in front of the blog, and then the blog will be there, and then we'll start. And we've been talking to Mom to kind of get her away from worrying about what blog means. So there might be some videos here. There might be just different things that and you know what? I just don't want these stories to go and be gone. I want them to be somewhere where we can all enjoy them. And just like Catherine's stories that I'm getting emails from Catherine. Thank you.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yes,
That's
it is.
awesome.
It is very.
Well, may I add something?
Yes,
the Jenny was telling about when it was my birthday, and it was 79. And my daughter there, Sarah, decided it was a good time for me to have go to Woodstock. So that's,
But would that have happened? Would that have happened without little Jack's question to you?
Yes, it would have. Yes, it would have, because that was a long time before.
Right, but you might not have
When you see
remembered.
the story, yes, it
We'll
does
understand
explain
it better.
I
have to
don't
read
think
it
we
again.
would have had a Woodstock. Oh, I can't tell more than that. We're giving too much away. We wouldn't have had
And
a
it was a
Woodstock.
wonderful party too.
It was a
very nice.
wonderful party. You have to see. We might have to add pictures because they won't believe
Oh,
all the
yes, I hope
silly
we're gonna
stuff
add
we were
pictures.
wearing. But it was a great party. So,
In
yes.
Colorado.
Right?
In
Oh, in
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yes, which is where Sarah's at right now. Thank you all for being on, Mom. Thank you. And Mom,
You're
we're going to
welcome.
send out. We'll make sure y'all get like the recording link for this, which will go on our YouTube, which then will be on our website, which on Saturday sometime there will be the blog Woodstock Revisited under Sue's Because I Asked page. So when you go to our website, if you go to therescuein.com, if you spell it all out, don't use any numbers, therescuein.com, click on blog across the thing, and then there's drop downs, and one of them says Because I Asked. And that will be where Mom's, Sue Biddle's blogs will be. And I would just tell you, please do respond. If you've got questions, we talked about giving her her own email or something that is an email that we know is, and we'll let you know, but we'll keep you posted. Just keep your eyes on that. And you all know, you reach out to us or me or whatever. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. Good job. We're going to
Thank
keep
you.
the recording on. It's great.
This was fun. Thank you. And did I keep my hands away from my mouth, Sarah?